Hi.
Hi. How do do you know what? I never go on live. Oh, this is cute. Okay.
Honestly, I have to get used to it too. I used to never do lives. And
Can
I
you hear
was,
me? Are we good?
yes,
Okay,
yes,
great.
I could see you. You could see me, right?
I can see you, yeah, but okay, yeah, this is good. You look nice.
I'm so happy we could finally talk after the technical difficulties on Friday.
I know Instagram shut down. Anytime like the socials shut down, I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist, so I'm like, they're doing some weird stuff. They're
Oh my gosh, are you? What did you think was happening? They were like hacking into our phones and getting stuff?
Yeah, they're downloading I mean, they have all of our data anyways, but they're like downloading more data that like would make it glitch if we were still online. That's what
They
I
do
think.
have all our data. Have you seen that Netflix documentary? What is it? The social.
But something, yeah. So the social experiment, I don't know.
Yes, it was really good. They have more data than you think that they do.
Yeah, really good, but very scary. But as soon as I finished it, I was back on the gram. I was
Me
back,
too, me too. I'm like, I know they're taking my data, but still.
but
Any,
still, I'm gonna need to see what's going on online. Yeah, it's
yeah,
very
I post still. It's okay. You can have my data.
exactly.
Okay, but we need to talk about your new single, Games. I saw
Yeah.
the music video. I listened to the song. I love it. I mean, so relatable. So
Oh,
relatable. It's featuring gigs. Tell me
yeah.
about that single. How did it come about? What went into it?
hmm So when I was writing the song, I had this idea in my head of making a song that felt like, you know, when you're arguing with a guy, or maybe like you're having an issue with a guy you've been dating, and you write that long essay, like you
Yeah,
write the Harry Potter novel out. Like, I just
yeah.
think it's funny
The
how
paragraphs.
say you're busy, but then I saw you with your guys, and but I just think it's funny how, you know, those ones.
Yeah.
Um, So I wanted to have it be something like that, that just felt like a long train of thought of and like an angry message. So I started making it actually when I was in LA, and this is when I was making my album, and then I came to the UK and linked up with gigs, and I was just playing him a bunch of the stuff that I had been working on, or beats that I had with my producer Nana, and he was feeling this one. He was like, "What? I've got to come and represent for the guys, and you know, speak up for them." So yeah.
Wait, I love that concept. I was like the queen of paragraphs, so I love like the whole concept of just having an entire song be that.
Yeah, I'm definitely queen of paragraphs. I'm queen of angry message.
That is so funny. I heard in an interview that you said you were like when you were talking about songs that were going to come out, that you said you were working with the It Guy of London, but you couldn't say who. Was that this song?
Oh, I can't remember what interview that was, but probably. I mean, Gigs is the it guy, so
Yeah, that's so funny. So, is this preluding like an album that's coming out? Do you have like more singles?
yeah, yeah. So I've got more singles, but this is for my first ever album.
So exciting. So, what made you want to release this right now? Because you haven't released anything since 2018. And it's been like a crazy time in the world. Have you been like making music during quarantine?
Yeah, I was making music, but luckily a lot of the album was done before quarantine.
Oh,
Otherwise, I'd probably be panicking like, what am I gonna do if I don't have, you know, all my songs and the whole world was shutting down. So I did quite a lot of the songs before then, but then I released the first single, Lovesick, in November, I think. And yeah, I just wanted to start releasing music. I was gonna wait until the world went back to normal, but I realized that actually a lot of people have been feeding off the energy from the music they've been listening to.
yeah.
Like for me, anyways, I've been enjoying listening to new music, and it's been putting me in a good mood. So yeah,
Yeah, same. And I feel like the world is never going to go back to normal, so you can't just wait around.
yeah, you can't. You have to live your life.
So what can you tell us about like what's coming from the album? Like what type of energy can we expect?
It's a whole lot of bad bitch energy.
Okay.
It's a whole lot of it's a whole lot of bad beat energy. And you know what? I think of all the music I've put out, this is actually my favorite music I've ever made.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just because I feel like I've really come into my own, and I've grown in the music industry, and I know more, and I know what I want from my sound and what I want to say to my audience. So I feel like it's the most me, and it's very like R&B. It's very like straight R&B and hip hop.
I
Where I think, yeah,
I love that.
yeah, like it just feels more me and the sound I like to listen to.
Yeah, and I feel like as an artist, it takes time to like kind of find your sound or like your voice. And I know
Hmm.
you were independent first, and now you're signed to a label. Do you feel like
Yeah,
that process has like helped you kind of figure out which direction you want to go in?
for sure. Like being independent, I feel like I was still finding my feet, still learning stuff about myself, learning stuff about the industry. And then when I signed a record deal in 2018, I feel like I came in with like knowledge, more knowledge than maybe some people do when they sign a record deal straight out. And that's definitely influenced like the way I work, for sure.
Yeah. I also heard a story about you writing with Kelly Rowland. Is that song what you first of all, I need to hear this story. And
Yeah.
is that song like what happened to it? Is it going to be on the album or was it just like a
So
writing?
actually, I was actually working on Kelly's stuff.
Okay.
Um, the song might still come out, but I really wanted to just get more into my writing bag because I write my own music, and I just love music in general, and I love making songs, whether it's for me or other people. And so that was actually when I was making the album in LA, and my producer Nana was like, Kelly's doing a session and looking for someone to join. Do you want to come? And I was like, duh, obviously. Like, it's a no-brainer. But when I got there, I was so overwhelmed by, I'm sorry, it's a Destiny's Child. Like, listen,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
whole Destiny's Child. And she's so beautiful, like so naturally beautiful. I was kind of just in awe. And you know, when you're trying to pretend everything's fine, and then I feel like it just hit me. I had a moment while I was writing, and I was like, I can't do this. This is too overwhelming. Like, I'm in the studio with Kelly Rowland. She's being really nice to me. She bought sushi. We shared sushi. But I was
Oh,
just, she's so lovely and just, I mean, so talented. She's Kelly Rowland. But it was an overwhelming experience that I literally almost left the session because I was like, this is too much for me.
wait, really? That is
Yeah.
so funny. You had
Yeah.
like imposter syndrome where you feel like, no, I can't do this. I don't know why. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I hope that,
Say that again.
I said I hope that song comes out.
So too, and I hope we make more music. We've been communicating anyway since then. Oh God. I mean, me and Kelly, we chat like all the
We
time. So
now. So
yeah, exactly.
do you feel like if you were to like work with somebody huge now, you would still feel that feeling, or do you feel like no, like I belong here?
I mean, like I feel like I belong in certain spaces and stuff, but I think when you actualize your dreams, even though you've worked for it and been imagining it all of this time, when you get there, it's still really shocking and overwhelming. So, especially when you meet somebody that you look up to and somebody who has inspired you as an artist, like I'm definitely gonna cry the day that I meet
Oh,
Beyonce. I'm gonna weep
yeah.
for sure.
Pretty once, and I was just like, she's like, and I swear she had like a light over her. Like she
Wait,
was just so like,
wait, did you hear right? Who did you say?
I saw Beyonce at a party once. And like she was so angelic, like I couldn't even like just seeing her was enough. Like I feel like she had a light over her, like a halo. I was just like, person is not real.
Like I've heard different people talk about me and Beyonce, and they always say she has this angelic presence and
Yes,
aura.
that's literally how I would describe it, like angelic. It's so weird.
Oh my God. Yeah, I would faint. I would, because I would try and be cool, like, oh yeah, what's good, B? You good, yeah? But like, no. nah, it's Beyonce.
That
Yeah.
is. So do you feel like the Kelly Rowland experience was like a it moment in your career? Like what are some of your other like moments where you're like, wow, this is unreal?
Being on tour with Nicki Minaj, that was pretty.
Yes, I was gonna
Yeah.
ask you about that. Like, tell me, what was that experience like?
That was unreal because, again, an artist I admire so much. I've been a Barb for years. And do you know what? I really felt like I manifested that tour because I remember when she dropped the album, the Queen album, I was like, I love the album so much. And I was like to my manager, I really want to be on tour with Nicki Minaj when she tours this album. So it was something that like I put into prayer and was hopeful for, but um I just didn't expect to get that call when I got that call because I mean it's Nicki Minaj and I felt like, you know, she would have maybe brought a full female rapper. I'm a female rapper as well, but I sing mostly. So I was just really overwhelmed. And the day I saw her, the first day of the tour, I think I had word vomit. And my band were taking the piss of me afterwards because I was standing outside my dressing room and her dressing room was right across mine. And she came out and like I said everything that was in my head or that I've ever wanted to say at once, like
Yeah.
all out. I'm like,
God, I love inspiring.
literally everything I've ever thought about in one sentence, basically.
So what is she like on tour? Was she like, did she give you advice? Like, what did you feel like that was like?
Being on tour with Nicki, do you know what? I think to me it seemed like she worked really hard. As I'm sure she does.
Yeah.
Because it was just constant. It's like we get to the place. It just felt like we get to the place, we're on stage, and I never really saw her like chilling, hanging around or anything. And also, she was kind of like one of the last people to leave the arena
Oh,
um,
kind of
after the tour. So, and I'm sure that's because she's got a lot to do, and probably after she gets off stage, she's doing more stuff. Um, so yeah, I think I saw her work ethic, and when we spoke on the first night of the tour, she was just really sweet, really really sweet, and really encouraging as well, and was just like, you know, make sure you use your gift that God has given you, and yeah, just wish me the best. She's very calm actually as a person. Like her aura, I think is really calm.
Wow, what a great like career experience to start you off.
Uh,
I
yeah.
also wanted to talk about your TED Talk.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I watched it and I loved it.
Oh,
Everybody that is tuned in right now, you need to go on YouTube and Google her TED Talk because it was amazing. How did you even end up with doing something like that? Like, do they approach you or do you like say that you want to do it?
yeah. So they approached us. I think it was part of a series of conversations about home, and I'm assuming they approached me because I've got a song called My Hood, which is about my home where I'm from.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they approached me, and I was so nervous. Like, I get nervous for shows. Well, I used to get nervous for shows, but public speaking, I think, is more nerve-wracking because,
Wait, that's so ironic because you're a singer.
yeah, but public speaking is different. Like, singing is like natural, you know, and you're singing a
Yeah.
song you know that you prepared that maybe they know and can sing along to. But public speaking, especially for TED, like, is TED. This is like legendary people come and speak on important subjects. They educate people. It's renowned, it's respected. So there's a certain level of quality that's expected from a speaker of a TED talk. And so I think I came into it thinking to myself, I have to make sure that I enunciate everything. I have to make sure that like I'm using all the words in the dictionary, like
Well,
yeah.
all the words in the dictionary. That's so funny.
You know,
I feel like I would have never, like, you tell me that now, but I would have never thought you were nervous watching it. Like, I thought you did a phenomenal job and I was inspired. I did like
God.
learn a lot. Like, I watched your TED Talk and I was like, that was so relatable. Like,
Oh.
um, for anybody that's like tuned in, like, she talked about, you talked about like representation and
Mhm.
how, um, growing up, you didn't see a lot of people like you like doing what you're doing, so you didn't feel like you could be there, and that's why like representation is so important. Like I feel like that's so relatable to any like person of color, any immigrant growing up
Mhm.
in America.
100%. Especially, I think, as a second generation immigrant, um I felt so out of place sometimes. Like growing up when I was a lot younger, I felt really out of place because home was still Nigeria and then outside was London, and I felt like, oh, so many people couldn't relate to my culture and the things that made me me. And just even when I got older and I started getting more into like the workspace, I often felt like an outsider because there were very few people that looked like me in the office. So sorry. Very few people that look like me in the office. Yeah, so the talk was all just about like identity and feeling like not feeling like you have to leave your identity at home when you leave the house, which I think a lot of people who are like immigrants or come from an underrepresented racial background, or in any sort of way you find yourself to be different than the people you're around, that's something that you worry about. Like, can I be me? And I always want to be myself.
Yeah, I feel like that's so relatable to everybody. And, before nobody really talked about this stuff. And now the more people are talking about it, you feel like, oh, wow, everybody goes through that. Like you talked about like not wanting to like eat your food and things like that. And now you like cook it at home. I feel like that's the same. Like
Yeah.
I'm, and like I wasn't trying to have my mom pack me like an Indian lunch for school, but now it's like I love Indian food.
Right? I used to, oh my gosh, I remember I told someone this story like last week. So the church that I went to, my mum, well, they were having a beach retreat sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I went with my siblings, my family, and my mum made a whole cooler. Do you know what a cooler is?
No.
A cooler is like, it's a big Tupperware box.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, it's like a big Tupperware box where you put loads of food inside and it keeps it at the temperature you need it to be,
Oh,
right?
yeah, cooler. Okay.
Yeah, so my mom made a big cooler of jollof rice, which is a traditionally African dish
Yeah.
of jollof rice. So while everyone was getting McDonald's and having ice cream and whatever, my mom was there dishing the cooler of jollof onto the plates for me and my siblings. And I just found it so embarrassing. Like, everyone's having normal food, like ice cream, McDonald's, like hot dogs. Why am I having jollof on the beach when everyone else is
What?
doing?
But see, I bet those people having McDonald's were like, let me get some of
There we go.
that.
This is the thing. And now, today, if I was to go out on a trip or something and someone brought out jollof, what? Bang that now. Open that now. Like, I would much rather that than McDonald's.
Yeah, I love that. And see, I feel like that whole thing with identity also like gets mirrored into your music. Like in your TED Talk, you talked about how like when you were going through all that,
Mhm.
you made a song that like you hated, which I thought was hilarious that you were like, I'm um and now that you like know who you are and are comfortable with it, like you would never make music like that again. But like you need to talk about that song.
Oh God. I'm gonna upset some fans because I swear the song I spoke about, every single day without fail, I have like people in my DMs like, I don't want to say the song. Do you know why? Because I feel like it might feel like a disrespect to the people, the person who
Still
I'm,
love the song.
well, not to the people who love the song, and also to the person I made the song with, because I really, really respect them. But for me, it didn't feel authentic to me, the words that I wrote and the sort of energy of the song. But I was trying out I think at that time I was trying to be what I think people expected me to be, because there was a lot of comparisons with like Lauryn Hill. And first of all, that's really overwhelming because she is a goat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. You
Oh,
should be flattered. Your voice is amazing.
thank you. I mean, I definitely was flattered, but I was just like, that's a big
Yeah,
name
to live up to.
who's just starting out. And so I feel like I felt compelled to make music that was in that world instead of my own vibe and sound. Um, yeah, and so I put it out, and I just remember just not wanting to push the song at all. Like I didn't do a video for it. I didn't want to do a video for it. I didn't want to perform it at shows. And yet I get a DM every day of people being like, please do a video, or I love this song so much, or them vibing.
That's so funny still.
Yeah, still. It's a fan favorite.
I do love the song. I listened to it. I had to after you said that.
Thank
That's
you.
so funny. Do you feel like so now you're like very like R&B hip hop? Do you feel like back then you felt like you had to like maybe make more like poppy music, but now rap and hip hop and R&B are growing so much in the UK? Or how do you feel about like the trajectory of that genre in the UK?
Yeah, it's definitely growing. Sorry, shout out to my friend Tiffany. Hi, love you. Yeah, it's definitely growing in the UK. The R&B scene, the hip hop scene has grown immensely. And I definitely think there's more room for people to be themselves.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, couple of years ago, there was pressure for people to make more pop music, more commercial music that can sit across, you know, all radio stations. And now people have the freedom to be versatile, to try different sounds, and also to just be like authentically them. So I definitely feel like it's allowed me to feel the freedom to make the sort of music I want to make.
Yeah, especially for women. I feel like there's more women in hip hop than ever. Like even at the Grammys, I
Oh my
felt
God.
like it was such a woman dominated year, like more than ever.
Yeah, I really agree with that actually. I noticed that when I was watching the performances, and I was like, oh my God, there's like female rappers are really getting so much attention and a spotlight. We have to shout out Nicki Minaj for that, because
Yeah,
she
the
opened so many doors. And so to see that and see the support of women, it definitely made me excited for the future.
yeah.
Um,
Especially, okay, we have to talk about WAP. You saw it performed at the Grammys. I know
yeah.
you've commented on it before, and it got so much backlash again after being performed at the Grammys, just because of, you know, how like direct it is.
That's a good choice of word.
Yeah, I'm like, how do I put this? So how do you feel about that as a woman in hip hop?
Um, do you know what? I feel like people should use their art to express themselves
Yeah.
however they want. Whatever it is you want to talk about, that's your experience, that's your story. And you know, I mean, we've had rock stars make songs about heroin. That's not
Yeah.
kid friendly, is it? Do you know what I mean? Making songs about drugs and stuff. And I think also as well, speaking about sex, women, men speaking about sex in their music is not new. Like when I was growing up, when I was really young, I remember my neck, my back, my pussy,
Right? And we
head.
see
I
that
say,
at school dances.
you know, so I'm like, I've been hearing this sort of stuff, and I do agree that it is up to your parent to censor you. Do you know what I mean? That's parental guidance. Your parents guide what you listen to and censor what you listen to. When I was growing up, I used to watch that stuff when my mum was in the kitchen or when she was not at home, you know,
Yeah,
because when she was around, I can't be listening to Lick My Pussy and My Crack.
I
What?
know.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, so you can't really put as much blame on the artist. I definitely think as an artist you should be aware of who your target audience is and what they need to hear, what they shouldn't be hearing. But I also think as an artist you should have freedom to express yourself.
Yeah, and I do agree that people have, like you pointed out, like men have been singing about this stuff forever. I think
Mm-hmm.
It's just the fact that like society isn't used to like it coming from a woman.
Hmm. I think maybe as much as this existed, it's not been as mainstream
Yeah.
because we've had those songs from women like Lil Kim, Debra, even Missy Elliott. Like if you listen to Missy Elliott's lyrics, she may not have like physically sexualized herself, but her lyrics are so sexual and explicit. But I think maybe it wasn't like brought to the forefront as much.
Song was just actually successful is the thing, like very successful, which props to Cardi B, and so it's just getting more attention. But
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, live your life. You know, she's a grown woman, so she can speak about her WAP. But if you're 15 or 16 or 18 and under, log out. You don't need to worry about any you don't need to
yeah,
be about any WAPs.
that's fun. Is it played on the radio in the UK as well?
Yeah, it is. But obviously the curse words are bleeped
Yeah.
out.
All right. Well, before you leave, I have like a fast five, like five questions to leave
Okay.
every. All right. So the first one is if you could give advice to your younger self, what would you say?
Don't let anybody water you down.
Ooh, I love
Yeah.
that. Good one. Okay, the second is one thing you hope for yourself this year.
Hmm. To only seek validation from myself.
Oh my God, that's a great one too. I'm like gonna tell. And then the third one, a misconception about yourself.
Oh, I used to get a lot that people, when people would meet me, they'd be like, "Oh, you're really fun and nice and stuff," and they'd be really surprised by that. I think because I used to and still kind of do mean mug in most of my videos.
I do that too.
Do you get that?
Yes, I feel like that's a women thing though, because I don't smile as much in my pictures and things. And so when people like meet me, they're like, "Oh, you're so sweet. Like you're the sweetest person ever. I would have never known that." And I'm like, just because I'm not here with like bunnies in my picture.
Literally, like it's resting bitch face. So you know, Instagram, we're trying to look cute. We're trying to look cool.
Yeah,
We're trying to feel smiley. What are we smiling for? We looking bad, like.
yeah. I hate when people tell me. Fourth one thing you learned this past year.
As in 2021, or you mean from 2020 to
I guess
now?
2020, because 2021 just started, or maybe until.
I learned. Well, it's gonna sound so deep as well, but I've learned just that like happiness is an inside job, and you shouldn't things to like to seek happiness in things outside of yourself.
I love that too. And the last one, the last thing that inspired you.
Oh, the last thing that inspired me. Oh my gosh, have you seen Malcolm and Marie, the film?
Yes, yes.
Oh my God, I love that film so much.
I love it so much too, but aren't they so toxic to each other?
They're so toxic. Like, so there's no way I could be with somebody who's bringing up my past trauma in an argument. Like, log out, log out. You can't be bringing up
Yeah, yeah.
drug abuse issues and think we're gonna be cool the next, 20 minutes later. But I just found it so incredible. Like, the script, I love the directing, like how when they speak to each other it's like they're playing ping pong, going back and forth, the texture of the film. I
Yeah.
love everything about it, so I was really inspired by that. So Malcolm and Marie, it made me, I was like, I need to make a film, like I need to.
Oh, I love that. Or you need to make a song about that experience. I mean, I guess games is kind of like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, it is, but they're way more toxic. He was like,
Yes.
through your drug abuse.
I know. They were so toxic. Watching it, I was like, that was exhausting. I don't know if I could be in a relationship like that ever.
That's the worst night ever. Like literally the worst ever.
So draining. Okay, well, before you leave, is there anything you could tell us about the album, like a date or a feature, a little tidbit?
Ooh, okay. Day is coming this summer.
Okay.
Up for that.
For Hot Girl Summer.
Yes, I need to come up with my own something summer. I don't know. I'll wait on that. But yeah, for the summer and features, I've got a UK female on the album that I'm so excited about. She's a UK powerhouse, I would say.
Okay.
Super fierce, and I have a US feature.
Ooh.
I'm trying to figure out how to make it as vague as possible.
A US feature. A guy or a girl?
Oh no, honey, I can't give all that.
Okay. We wouldn't know anything. But
okay, a female.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj.
Je sais pas.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me. I cannot wait to hear more of your music. And if you ever do the TED Talk again, I loved it.
Thank you for having me. It's been good. I never do Instagram lives because they make me anxious, but this has been good. This has made me.
I hope this experience makes you feel like you could do them now.
No, it has. It actually has. No lie, for real.
Okay, that makes me feel good.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Have a beautiful rest of your night. I know it's nighttime over there, right? My Monday is just beginning.
Yeah, it's like 6 p.m. here, 6:30.
Okay, well then have an amazing rest of your night and week.
Thank you. Thanks to everyone else in the comments as well. I see you guys. Love you.
Yes, thank you guys.
See you.